Have you guys read the press and noticed that being concerned is the core essence of being a journalist? Like, Facebook whistleblower comes out. Journalists are concerned. Elon Musk wants to buy Twitter. Journalists are deeply concerned. Every single day, journalists are concerned, especially when there is less surveillance of the common folk. Then they start being concerned. But when you find out that PayPal wants to change its policy in order to fine people $2,500 for misinformation, oh, the journalists aren't concerned. All of the concern seems to have been alleviated. Now, I remember when the pandemic started, and I know that people have very short-term memory, but there was a talk of cashless society. And this is like right when the pandemic initially began. People didn't even know about how we're going to fight this. There wasn't even talks about vaccines at the time. It was like, literally, it's happening in China. China is shutting down cities. And here it was like, oh yes, cashless society. We need more cashless society. Capitalism is failing. Cashless society. This is why cashless society seems to be a good thing. Because technically it's not your cash. And we've seen this in Canada with Justin Trudeau, who is also concerned about the protests in Iran right now. But he wasn't very concerned when he signed the paper in order to allow the banks to seize the assets of the people peacefully protesting here. No more concerns there. So the moral of the story is that if you do not have the money in hand, it is not yours. If it belongs in a digital format, it can be taken away from you. And up until this point, we noticed that companies, especially like PayPal, they would deplatform people. So they would say, okay, well, you can't use our services from now on. But what the future seems to be, they can literally say, yeah, we're going to steal your money. We're going to take your shit. The way PayPal justifies this is to alleviate for damages. Because, you see, PayPal is going to stalk you on the internet from now on. It's going to have an army of snitches and people that are going to snitch. And PayPal can then take money for damages for ruining their reputation. Right. So you can see how PayPal works hand in hand with activists. The activists create a culture where if you are a naughty person online, you are damaging the corporation. I mean, that's bewildering. Imagine if you have a episode of road rage and you're driving a Ferrari, and then the Ferrari corporation would sue you for damages because you were driving their car when you had the episode of road rage. Does that make any sense? Because it doesn't make sense in my fucking world. So, this is what PayPal is saying that they are going to do. If you spread harmful misinformation, which of course gets to be decided by the government. Like, the FBI pressured Facebook to censor the Hunter Biden laptop story, which apparently is true. But they censored a historical publication on Twitter, probably due to also the FBI pressuring Twitter. Now, Twitter caved. Meanwhile, Facebook, they only downranked the story in the search engine, which is similar to censorship, like trying to make it less available for people. But that is what misinformation is. Like, who gets to decide what is information and what is misinformation? And the answer is the institutions. But the problem is every single institution on the face of the earth is corrupt. Like, that doesn't exist. An institution that doesn't have corruption doesn't exist. So, the moment you tell me that, well, the institutions get to decide truth, like, you told me everything that I need to know. At this point, you don't even have a democracy anymore. Like, if you want to get votes, you don't have to convince the people, because there's too many of them. You just have to pressure the social media corporations, get them on your side, get a couple of banks and social media entities on your side, and then it doesn't matter what people think. Because you can artificially enforce the thought. You can apply punishments like this And everyone that doesn't agree with what the government says or the official party line is going to be cracked down, is going to be made so that they have to agree. Otherwise, they won't be able to feed themselves. They won't be able to pay for rent. And this is the way that the West, the free West, is going towards. It's very concerning. Holy shit, I'm becoming a journalist now. I'm getting concerned. Now, the solution to this, believe it or not, is in people's hands. Like, this is something that's not going to be imposed top-down. This is something that's going to actually be grassroots. I have been to London, which is very similar to New York, I've been told by many subscribers, except that the buildings there are a little bit more ancient, but otherwise the culture and the crime, kind of similar to New York, although in New York you have shootings, in London you have stabbings, but still. The thing is, there are many places where they actually try to impose like a cashless system. So if you go to London Zoo, if you go to the London Eye, I've been told by some people that there are even banks in London that refuse to deal with cash, right? So if people choose to still do business there, if people choose to still operate there, well, then people want cashless societies and they want this level of control. They want their liberties to be dictated by a couple of corporations that are working hand in hand with the government, and then they can't complain. Here in Eastern Europe, we don't have this shit. Because no one puts up with it. Like, if you were to have a bank that says, okay, we're not going to work with cash anymore, everyone would move over to another bank. But the thing here in Eastern Europe, and this is apparently not just my mentality, it's something that exists everywhere, people do not like to have money in the bank. Like, there is a reason why people are really afraid of inflation. Because they don't give a shit if the banks go bankrupt, because most of their money are, like we call it, under the mattress. As in, people actually have cash in their homes. Like, this is something normal here in Eastern Europe. The moment you get your paycheck, and you have to get it in a bank, and it goes on a credit card, people go to the ATM and withdraw everything. Like, they don't leave a single cent into their bank. Maybe they leave a little bit for online shopping. But, like, the overwhelming amount of money that is being given to them, they withdraw it right away. And this is what I would suggest people do with PayPal. Like, if you are on a business where you have to use PayPal, okay. But immediately withdraw all your cash from there. I do that every single time. Every time I get more than $10 on PayPal, I withdraw it. I do not allow them to have any money on my account because it's not my money if I allow them to do that. It's their money. And this is what people need to understand. If it's not cash in your hand, you don't own it. And you have reasons to be suspicious. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.